Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So, we all know we need our vitamins, right? But here's a thought. Have you ever wondered why you're told to be careful not to take too much vitamin D, but you can pop vitamin C like candy? Today, we're going to break that down. We're diving into the two very different teams of vitamins and what it all means for your health. So, let's just start with that puzzle, because it really gets to the heart of how all this works. Why can you overdose on one vitamin, but not another? Why is there a big warning label on some bottles, but not on others? The answer, it turns out, reveals something really fundamental about how your body is built. Okay, so to solve that puzzle, we have to start with the basics. What exactly is a vitamin anyway? Let's get a clear definition. Right, so vitamins are organic micronutrients. Now, the key thing to get is that they aren't fuel. They're not like carbs or fat that give you energy. Instead, think of them as the tiny essential helpers, the spark plugs, really, that make thousands of chemical reactions in your body actually happen. We only need them in small amounts, but here's the catch. We can't make most of them ourselves. We absolutely have to get them from our food. And here is the secret to the whole thing. The key to understanding vitamins is knowing that they're not all the same. They all play for one of two teams. And which team they're on, either fat-soluble or water-soluble, well, that changes literally everything about how they behave inside your body. And this slide, this lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you have the fat-soluble vitamins. That's A, D, E, and K. I like to call these the stayers. Why? Because they get stored in your liver and your fat tissue. They stick around. On the other side, you've got the water-soluble vitamins, like the B complex and vitamin C. These are the visitors. Your body uses what it needs, and then the rest is flushed out every single day. And right there, that difference in storage, that is the answer to our puzzle. So let's dive a little deeper into Team Fat-Soluble, the stayers. Because they stick around, because they get stored, you can see how getting the right dose is absolutely critical. You don't want them building up to toxic levels. First up, let's meet vitamin A, probably best known as the vision vitamin. You know that moment when you walk from a bright sunny day into a dark room and your eyes have to adjust? Yeah, that's vitamin A at work. Without it, that just doesn't happen very well. And this table really shows the two extremes. If you get too little vitamin A, you risk things like night blindness. But because it's a stayer, if you get way too much, you can get something called hypervitaminosis, basically vitamin poisoning, and that can lead to some really nasty stuff, from hair loss all the way to serious liver damage. It's the perfect example of why balance is so important with this team. Okay, next up is vitamin D, the famous sunshine vitamin. And what's so cool about this one is that it's the only vitamin our body can actually make for itself, with a little help from the sun. It's so powerful in the body, it actually behaves more like a hormone than a vitamin. Vitamin D's main job is to help your body absorb calcium, which you need for strong bones. If you don't get enough, it can cause a condition called rickets in kids. But again, since it's a stayer, taking way too much can cause hypercalcemia. That means dangerously high levels of calcium in your blood, which can lead to things like kidney stones. Not good. So with the fat-soluble stayers, the big danger is toxicity, right? Getting too much. But now, let's meet the other team, the water-soluble visitors. And with them, the challenge is the complete opposite. Since our bodies flush them out almost every day, we need a constant, fresh supply from our food to keep from running out. For this team, deficiency is the real enemy. The B vitamins are a great example. You often hear them called the energy crew. Now, to be clear, they don't give you energy directly like a cup of coffee would. No, what they do is act as coenzymes. They're like the essential factory workers that help convert the food you eat into actual fuel your cells can use. Think about it like this. Your body has all these engines. Those are your enzymes, just sitting there, ready to go. But an engine can't start without a key, right? Well, the B vitamins act as the keys. They slot into the enzymes, turn them on, and that starts the whole metabolic engine that unlocks energy from your food. So the bottom line is, without these little B vitamin keys, a huge number of your body's most essential energy-producing reactions would just grind to a halt. A really classic and pretty devastating example of this is niacin, which is vitamin B3. A severe lack of it leads to a disease called pellagra. This was a huge problem in the American South in the early 1900s, especially in poor communities that relied almost entirely on a corn-based diet. Pellagra is infamous for what they called the 3 Ds: dermatitis, which is a horrible skin rash, diarrhea, and eventually dementia. It is just a brutal reminder that even though these visitor vitamins don't stick around, not having them can be absolutely catastrophic.
Now, this slide here highlights something that is so important for doctors to know. A lack of either vitamin B9, which is folate, or B12 causes the exact same type of anemia. You can't tell them apart by looking at the blood. But here's the critical difference. Only a B12 deficiency leads to permanent, irreversible nerve damage. So you can see why getting the diagnosis right is absolutely crucial.
So, what's the big picture here? What does this all mean for our health? Well, it really all comes down to finding that careful balance between not enough and too much, and that balance is totally dictated by which team a vitamin plays for. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this simple rule. You have to be cautious with the fat-soluble stairs, like A and D, so they don't build up to toxic levels. And you have to consistently resupply the water-soluble visitors, like B and C, so you don't become deficient. It's stored versus supplied. Simple as that. And look, if you want a little cheat sheet, this slide is it. This connects some of the most famous deficiency diseases in history directly to the vitamin that's missing. You've got night blindness, rickets, pellagra, scurvy. The evidence is just crystal clear. These things are absolutely non-negotiable for our health. So, I guess that leaves us with a final thought. The next time you're thinking about your diet or looking at supplements, just remember the two teams. Your body needs both of them to win. So, is your diet giving them a balanced roster? Are you getting enough of the visitors every day? And are you being smart about the stayers? Understanding that simple difference is really the first step to building a winning team for your own health.
If you found the video helpful, don't forget to like it. And for more informative videos like this, subscribe to MLT Win.